You ever have one phone call flip your whole world upside down? I didn't believe it could happen until Susan Whittaker, our neighborhood's wannabe dictator, blocked my driveway with her smug face and a security SUV, trying to stop my 17-year-old daughter, Chloe, from chasing her dream. What looked like another HOA power trip turned into the fight of our lives, and let me tell you, watching Susan's empire crumble felt better than any movie I've ever seen. It was a humid August morning in Pine Hollow, 2024, and Chloe was tossing her gear into my beat-up Ford F-150, her eyes lit up with that fire she got from her mom, Rachel. She was headed to MIT's summer engineering campus, big dream for her since she was a kid doodling skyscrapers. For years after losing Rachel to cancer, I still saw her in Chloe's stubborn grin. "Dad, quit with the worried dad stare," she laughed, catching me hovering. At 17, she had Rachel's spark and my habit of overthinking everything. "I can drive to the airport. It's an hour, and I've had my license for a year. Relax." Her tone was sharp, carrying the tension we'd been dodging since Rachel's last anniversary hit us like a truck. I was about to argue when I heard heels clicking like a countdown. Susan Whittaker stormed out of her fancy house across the street, blonde bob pulled tight, looking like she was born to ruin someone's day. At 45, she ran Pine Hollow like her personal kingdom. "James Carter," she snapped, her voice all fake concern. "We've got a safety issue with Chloe's driving," she said, driving like Chloe was out joyriding, not heading to MIT. My gut twisted. Susan loved meddling, but this felt different. Chloe muttered, "Here comes the HOA police," but I saw her hands shake. This camp was a shot to honor her mom, and the paperwork deadline was noon. Any delay could tank it. "Morning, Susan," I said, forcing calm. "Chloe's gotta get to MIT. We are running late." I hoped MIT would shut her up, but Susan stepped right in front of my truck, so close I'd have to push her to move. "That's my concern, James," she said, arms crossed. "A 17-year-old driving alone is a community risk. I've called Elite Security to assess." She nodded at a black SUV rolling up, its tinted windows screaming trouble. Chloe's voice cracked. "You got a security team to stop me? I've never even had a ticket." Her eyes were furious, but I saw tears she wouldn't let fall. Then I spotted a tiny camera on Susan's jacket, recording everything. This wasn't random, she'd planned this. "Susan, Chloe's a safe driver," I said, my patience thinning. "We need to go." But Susan's smile was pure venom. "As HOA president, I can't allow an accident that had hurt Pine Hollow's reputation," she said, her voice almost gleeful. "Elite Security needs to test Chloe's skills before I approve her leaving." That word, approve, made my blood boil. She thought she was God. Chloe looked at me, her eyes screaming, "Dad, don't let her ruin this." Her plea hit me hard, dragging up Rachel's final days when Chloe thought I hadn't fought enough. I froze, that old fear of screwing up locking me in place. Susan saw it, her smirk widening. "Elite's flagged teen driving issues here," she said, as two Sus stepped out of the SUV, their verbal business. Chloe's voice cut through. "Dad, you're not gonna let her steal this, right? Not after everything." She wasn't just talking about MIT, she meant every time I'd played it safe since Rachel died. The standoff lasted 20 agonizing minutes before Susan's goons backed off, saying they had no legal grounds. But it was too late. We hit the airport past the deadline, and Chloe's laptop glared with registration closed. The drive home was dead quiet, her disappointment heavier than any argument. I kept replaying how I could have just driven past Susan, but my brain, wired to avoid conflict, had failed us again. That night, I snapped out of it. As an engineer who'd worked federal projects, I knew how to dig. What I found on Susan was chilling. She'd filed 50 safety complaints against 25 families in Pine Hollow, always at make-or-break moments: job interviews, doctor visits, you name it. She wasn't just a bully, she was targeting anyone who might question her. Worse, she was secretly running 2 other HOAs and funneling their cash into Apex Construction, a shady outfit tied to her security team. The real bombshell. Apex was building the Oak Ridge Overpass, a $20 million federal project with fake inspections and cheap materials. This was a scam, and it was dangerous. At 2 a.m., Chloe found me buried in records. "Dad, what's going on?" she asked, her voice still raw. I looked at her, seeing Rachel's fight in her eyes. "I'm fixing this," I said. "Susan's running a con that's hurting everyone, and Oak Ridge. It's a death trap." Next morning, Susan went nuclear, posting edited videos online of Chloe's dangerous driving clips twisted to make her look reckless. Neighbors who'd known her forever turned on us, whispering I was a bad dad. Chloe sat at our table, reading the comments, her voice small. "Mrs. Larson, who gave me cookies, says I'm a hazard." Seeing her spirit crack lit a fire in me. Then came the twist. Our neighbor, Mrs. Evelyn Kim, 72, knocked on our door, her eyes sharp. "James, I'm not just a retired librarian," she said, pulling out a folder. "I'm Evelyn Kim, ex-DOJ investigator. I've been tracking Susan for 2 years." My jaw dropped. Evelyn showed U.S. bank records, photos, and proof Susan rigged bids for Oak Ridge, using fake safety reports. "She targeted you because you're an engineer who'd spot her lies," she said. "My niece died when an Apex wall collapsed. Susan called it an accident." The photos of shoddy construction made my stomach drop. Oak Ridge could kill hundreds if it failed. I filed a whistleblower report with the DOT that night, attaching Evelyn's evidence. Chloe watched me hit send, her eyes hopeful but wary. "You mean it this time?" she asked. "No more playing safe," I promised. Susan struck back fast. My license was suddenly under review, and Chloe got hit with fake harassment claims. A note slid under our door: "Keep this up, and accidents happen." But Chloe didn't blink. "Mom said evil wins when we quit. What's our move?" The showdown came at a packed HOA meeting in the community center. Families spilled out stories of Susan's harassment, ruined college apps, fake CPS calls. Susan showed up with cameras, live streaming herself as the victim, claiming we were ungrateful rebels. But Chloe flipped the script. She handed out a report she'd built from my data and Evelyn's files, showing Susan's fraud in clear numbers, fake tests, stolen funds, deadly shortcuts. "She's not saving us," Chloe said, her voice steady. "She's risking our lives." Susan lost it, screaming I was a grieving failure, using my brat to attack her. The crowd gasped, her mask finally off. Then my phone buzzed with Susan's text: "Operation Fallout starts 6 a.m. Say goodbye to safe roads." She was planning to collapse Oak Ridge during rush hour. At 1 a.m., we were on with Evelyn and FBI agent Laura Hayes, racing to pinpoint her targets. Chloe had a spark of genius. She'll want to film it, Dad, to play the hero who warned us. Sure enough, Evelyn found Susan's Lexus near Oak Ridge at 5 a.m., setting up a live stream like a twisted filmmaker. At 5:58 a.m., Chloe made a 5-minute call to the FHA, giving Susan's location and every dirty contract number. By 6:05 a.m., agents had Susan in cuffs, her cameras catching her screaming. I was protecting them, as they dragged her away. Susan faced 27 federal charges: fraud, terrorism, you name it. Her $70 million crypto scam unraveled across 8 states. A month later, Chloe got into MIT's camp with a full ride, the letter praising her courage. As she read it, I felt Rachel's pride in us both. 1 call, 5 minutes, and we took down a monster. So, What's the real lesson? Was Susan just a control freak, or are communities breeding these mini tyrants? Ever faced someone like her or found the nerve to fight back? Share your story in the comments. I am reading them all. Like if this hit you, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more real stories about regular people taking on the untouchable. Let's keep this fight alive.